If you could buy only one Tudor Black Bay, which one would you go for? Would it be the Black Bay 54, the Black Bay 58, or even the OG 41mm Heritage? Today we are going to compare these three stunning watches in a true Black Bay Battle Royale style and find out which Tudor cuts the mustard. Welcome back to the channel, my name is Chris and I have an obsession with Tudor watches. On my wrist today I have the Black Bay 54, on the table we have the Black Bay 58 and the OG 41mm Heritage. And I am going to give you my honest opinion on which one I feel is the best. Now I'm going to try and be objective here, but I think I can come out and say that the Tudor is one of my favourite brands of all time, and having three Black Bays to play with makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Or at least like a fat kid in a sweet shop. Okay, enough drivel. Let's dive on in. To start off with the new kid on the block, let's have a look at the Tudor Black Bay 54. It has a measurement of 37mm in diameter, a lug to lug of around 45mm and a thickness of just 11mm and a 20mm lug width. Next up we have the Tudor Black Bay 58. It weighs in at 39mm in diameter, 47mm lug to lug, 11.9mm thick and a 20mm at the lugs. Finally, we have the granddaddy, the OG, the Black Bay 41mm Heritage, the in-house movement version by the way. It comes in at an unsurprisingly 41mm in diameter, 50mm lug to lug, 14.8mm thickness and a lug width of 22mm. This one really is a chunky boy. All have chronometer certified movement, all have domed sapphire crystal, all have screw down crowns with 200 meters of water resistance, and all have a 60-click unidirectional bezel with aluminium. Yes, I'm British, that's how we say it, Amerikanskis. Bezel insert. Now, throughout the range, all these movements have chronometer certified and produced by in-house Rolex movement maker Kinesi. And since none of these models have any difference like METAS certification, for example, I'm not even going to start with points here. Okay, boring spec stuff out the way, let's talk feelings and opinions. Also, by the way, if you like the watch straps featured in this video today, you can find them on the WatchGecko website. So when I look at these watches, one of the things that springs to mind to me is whatever you choose, you are going to get one hell of a watch. That being said, the OG 41mm and the 58 are almost identical in looks, from the snowflake hands to the layout of the indice. It's all lovely and symmetrical. Gilt may not be as popular as it was a few years ago, but in my opinion, it's done well. And when it is done well, it can be timeless. However, where the looks of the 58 falls short is the mauve faux patina coming from, whatever you would call it, the bezel insert. I actually prefer the 41mm cleaner look here, and I think that actually helps with an understated look that the Black Bay line should be going for. But the 54 manages to take all the points from the Tudor Black Bay line and simply refine it to its best form. With the sunburst effects of the dial and the simplified monochromatic look of the bezel, with all that goodness and the lack of the red triangle at 12, I think it just looks so good. It's a hard one for me, but I would go with the 54, then the OG, then the 58. Just like looks, wearability is also subjective and a lot depends on the factors including, but not limited to, the style and your wrist size. I've gone on record in the past and said some of these watches are just meant to be big and in your face, whilst others are meant to be a little more subdued and subtle. For me, I think the Black Bay line, being based on a more vintage aesthetic and styling, perhaps should be a little more discreet. Now, in addition to owning the 54, I actually used to own the OG 41mm, and yes, they are completely different in wearing experiences, and it is because of the size. I loved my OG 41mm and would still be wearing it today if not for one key reason. I lost some weight. And yes, losing weight made my wrists shrink, and I started wearing smaller watches, from newer watches to vintage, and now anything over 42mm with a thickness of over 14mm, it's just a bit of a turn off for me. So for me, I just had to choose between these watches today. It wouldn't be the 41mm based on how it wears on me now. However, the 58 and the 54 are actually closer than you think in wearability. In fact, this line of watches has a remarkable trick of making the 58 wear slightly smaller and the 54 wearing slightly bigger than the proportions would suggest. It's a tough choice, this one, but again, I prefer my 54 to the 58, but they are so close here. But for me, the 54 clinches it, if not alone for that amazing T-fit clasp. So, what did we learn from this admittedly rather futile experiment today? Well, we learned that size matters. Sorry, boys. We also learned that wearing experience is dependent on how much you love and how much enjoyment you get from a watch. And we've also learned that I may be a little bit biased on here. I love my Black Bay 54. For me, it offers the best looks in the range, the bestest of wearing experiences. And again, that's just for me. However, let's be honest. If you're new to watches, the 58 is the one you should go for here. And let me explain why. On the secondary market, it's cheaper. It's more wearable for a variety of wrists, and it also comes in blue if gilt just isn't your thing. Not to mention, it has been the darling of the YouTuber watch space for a good while now. But regardless of which one you choose, if you can't get on with that rivet strap, then WatchGecko has you covered with a variety of straps to breathe new life into an older watch or just make your watch a little more versatile. But what do you think? Which is your favourite of the Black Bay family? Is it the 54? Is it the 58? Is it the OG? Is it the newer 41 Metas monochrome model? Is it the Harrods edition? Is it the GMTs? Is it the chronographs? Let us know in the comments below. My name's been Chris from Awkward Horology, and I'll catch you in the next one.